Alright guys, welcome back to the shop. On this episode, we're going to be working on the wife's Suburban again. So, about 3 weeks ago, she got T-boned in it. And it's been at the body shop, waiting on insurance and blah 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 blah. Well, we finally found out 2 days ago that it got totaled out. So we went and picked it up, and now it's back at home. So, the plan for this thing is, we are going to attempt to fix it. The reason it's totaled, obviously, the quarter panel there, once they got the quarter panel cut off, this uni structure here has a kink in it, and so they said, well, since that's kinked, we have to replace it. And in order to do that, that runs all the way up and attaches back underneath the roof skin there. So they would have to skin the roof and peel the roof back. So then that got into putting a whole new roof on it, and that's what finally totaled it out. So what we're going to do here is, obviously, new quarter skin. We'll pull the rear AC units behind this panel here. We'll pull that out, and we'll hammer this back so that has room to sit. We'll come in here with the porta power, and if we need to, put a little push on it. Maybe try to just straighten that out a little bit. We can get a new piece right here for this, so that'll replace all this kinked up area. And then the new quarter panel will come over the top of that. So that's what we're going to do. We're not going to fix that inner structure piece. If we need to, we'll cut it out and repair it. And then while we're at it over here, we're going to get the patch panel and cut that out to replace that rust, since we're going to have the whole car stripped apart and for paint. So otherwise, everything else looks pretty good on it. The hatch did shift a little bit that way. It's got a pretty big gap here, but I think that's just probably from just getting jarred in the impact, and we'll just adjust the hinges for it and get it so it sits right. We do need to put a new bumper on it. The bumper was jacked up a little bit, plus it had been repaired half-assed at one other time, so might as well just fix it while we got it all apart. So otherwise, we'll need to replace this front inner fender piece there too. That was wrinkled up, so that's just a panel we can buy to replace that. So otherwise, everything else in here looks pretty good and pretty straight. So hopefully, pretty easy process, I guess, for not being very easy. Alright, well, I know I said I was going to work on the Prelude and go balls to the wall on that, but unfortunately, life happens, and this has now become a priority. So we'll do the next 3 or 4 episodes on this thing, getting this thing back up and running. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and let's get to it. Absolutely terrible, but we managed to get the glass out. I had to end up taking the headliner out and some other interior trim pieces, but now we have access to all these spot welds, so we can start grinding those out and come in here and take all these spot welds all the way down underneath here in the wheel well, all the way over and down, and the quarter ends there, and then again in here all the way up along here. And I think rather than take the whole quarter all the way up to the top and get in the roof, I think I might section it here and then just weld that together so it's a solid piece, or possibly just go right through here, now knowing all this inner structures here. all our spot welds pretty much follow the window line right there. So yep, that's the interior. So we're gonna have to drill all those out. I was kind of hoping just to section this in here somewhere and not have to take the whole top roof line. We'll see once we get drilling and cutting. So I guess that's the next step. Break out the grinder. Most of the spot welds ground down and popped loose. All this is loose from the inner structure. This is too, it's just kind of stuck down with some of that seam sealer. We got this lip off underneath here, all the way around the wheel well. Looks like the body shop cut the outer wheelhouse a little bit when they were cutting the quarter off, so we'll have to weld that up and get that patched in, and then got the front lower wheel well extension out because that's all mangled up and rusted at the bottom a little bit, so we'll get a new one of those and get that. And then this is the bottom chunk of the quarter panel right there, so just got to get that air chiseled off of there. Amazing how much dirt was like packed in there, mud and dirt in that inner structure area there. But yeah, I think it's time now to get the porta power out and see if we can move that just a little bit to get the strike to sit where it needs to be. Just kind of try to push some of this out. I don't know if we'll be able to get in there and push it or not, but we'll try it. Alright, it's been a while since I had this thing out. It's probably been a solid 10 years. I forgot I had that guy, so that'll be good. I think we'll try to take that and just squeeze that and just try to push that out just a little bit right there, just to straighten some of that out and get it pushed back. And then we'll probably put a bunch of those bars together and then go from the far corner across the vehicle and just push right at the strike plate on that seat pillar. Try to push it right in this area just to see if this will move any. Doesn't look like it puckered anything up too bad on the floor, so I don't think it needs to go a lot. We're just going to try to push it just a little bit. pushing on this thing and hammering on it for a little bit with the porta power. I've got this kink completely out. I just need to probably hammer this back in just a little bit, and then I've been pushing on that C-pillar a little bit and tweaking the door. All right, we got the door gap looking nice and even. Door functions really nice now. It's not a real hard pull to get to move. We did come in here and push this out just a little bit, probably about a ½ inch or so. Because when we go over to the driver's side here, I kind of just put this square across the door and the quarter panel and just kind of looked and seen what the gaps were and where it was touching and where it wasn't. Use the LTZ as my marker, and then came back over here. Obviously it's dented in the middle, but it's hitting the door. It's got about the same amount of gap on the door there and where the quarter touches. So we got that pushed out. So now when we sight down it, it looks like it lines up a lot better, and obviously it's hard to see without the quarter or the glass on there, but you know, we're just kind of looking for that sight and making sure it all lines up. Alright guys, it's day 2 of the Suburban project. Did a little work last night, didn't record any of it. Basically got a little bit of mud on the door and got the door hammered pretty straight. So now we're just pretty much needing to clean up the areas, get them ready for the new quarter, and then we're just going to wait for parts. Alright guys, that's going to be a wrap for the stage 1 of the Suburban repair. We got the quarter panel cut off, got the door started to be reworked, got the tailgate, lift gate, everything resituated and shutting good where it needs to go. Also got everything pushed back into place. So I got the door hammered back and got a coat of Bondo on that last night. Still needs a little bit of work, still a little bit of a low spot right there. Got the C-pillar nice and hammered back out. This was kinked in here pretty good, but we were able to get that flattened back out nicely. Put a little bit of a push on this. Probably had to move that out about, I'd say a ½ inch or better. So that's all nice and lined up again. And then got all the damaged inner wheel well stuff cut out and kind of got this area prepped. Got the cut that was in there from when the body shop cut the quarter panel off, got that welded up and ground down and fixed, and then got all of our surfaces nice and smoothed out and ground down. And then I've got the quarters cut off there. That's where I'm going to section them in on this one, and then this part here, that way I don't have to get into the seam sealer and the stuff in the roof. and have to have a tape line up in there. So yeah, hopefully we'll get parts here this week, first part of this week, and we can start mocking all the stuff up and getting this thing put back together. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.